Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Wynand here, and today we're gonna dive deep into something that's been buzzing all around the XRP community lately. We're seeing insane XRP price predictions floating around right now. $50, $77, even $100 XRP. And by the end of this cycle, and listen, I get it. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement when everything feels like it's finally coming together after years of pain. But I want to have a real conversation with you today, a grounded one. Because listen, I want you guys to actually win this cycle. I don't want you getting trapped by fantasy numbers, sitting here in disbelief if the market crashes back down, thinking, man, if I only sold some when it was up 10x. So today, we're gonna talk about where XRP really is right now in 2025, what's happening with Ripple, the new partnerships, the bank moves, the tech progress, the regulations, all of it. And then we're gonna lay out a realistic, smart, no BS plan for profit taking based on history and where the market is actually at. Okay, but first thing first, 2025 has been absolutely insane for Ripple and XRP. I mean, right out the gate, we saw the launch of RLUSD, Ripple US dollar stablecoin. And listen, even though it maybe didn't make front page headlines for the average Joe, but if you were paying attention, you know this was a huge deal. Ripple launched RLUSD with the specific intention of competing with giants like USDC and USDT, and the integration with the XRP ledger and even with Ethereum later opened up massive doors for liquidity for trading pairs for DeFi projects. And it's not just the stablecoin either. They're expanding everywhere. Ripple partnered up with Eveno for this whole Wall Street 2.0 initiative, connecting tokenized real-world assets like BlackRock's OUSG product directly into the XRPL ecosystem. Let me repeat that. BlackRock is involved. You think the biggest asset manager on planet Earth gets involved with something they think is a scam? No way. They see what's coming. They know where the future is headed. Ripple is setting up the plumbing for an entirely new financial system, and XRP and the XRP ledger are right in the middle of that. And it's not just partnerships with crypto companies either. It's the banks. Banks are moving. We're seeing Ripple custody. Yes, Ripple has a custody arm now rolling out to financial institutions. And if you understand how banks operate, you know this is critical. First, banks have to get custody figured out. That's step one. Then they move into stablecoins, into tokenized assets, into DeFi services, all those juicy profit streams. And guess what? Ripple is positioning itself to be infrastructure for all of it. Custody, payments, tokenized liquidity, the whole stack. Plus, in 2025, what did we see? The regulatory environment is finally catching up. The FDIC, the OCC, the Federal Reserve, they're all opening up the doors for banks to get involved in crypto in a real way now. You think Ripple doesn't have a front row seat at those conversations? They've been lobbying in Washington for years. They were one of the only crypto projects invited to talk to Congress about stablecoin legislation last year, if you remember that. And this isn't just some altcoin project hoping to get lucky anymore. Ripple is legit. And internationally, Ripple isn't slowing down for a second. I mean, in February, they announced a partnership with BDAX Korea, expanding crypto custody services in South Korea. Now listen, South Korea is no joke when it comes to crypto. Korean exchanges like Upbit, BitHub, Corebit, they move serious volume. Having Ripple's custody products integrated there is a big deal, especially as South Korea's government is tightening regulations and demanding stronger compliance and transparency from exchanges and financial institutions. Ripple's move there means they're ready to plug into that new regulatory framework and capture that institutional market. And then in March, we had another huge move. Ripple Payments launched in Portugal, partnering with Unicambio to streamline cross-border transactions. I know some people out there love to argue, Wynand, Ripple Payments doesn't mean XRP is being used. Okay, fine. But here's the thing. Ripple has been crystal clear. When possible, they prefer moving payments for XRP in the XRP ledger because it's faster, cheaper, and more transparent. As regulations ease up, you can bet more and more corridors will be using XRP by default. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The SEC case. It's over, done, and finished, you guys. The SEC dropped its appeal. Ripple dropped its appeal. They settled. Ripple agreed to pay a $50 million fine. The SEC dropped its appeal. Ripple dropped its appeal. They settled. Ripple agreed to pay a $50 million fine. Pocket change for them. It's a blip on their financial statements. And what's the real takeaway here? XRP is not a security. That precedent is set now. No more legal cloud hanging over XRP's head. That opens the door for US banks, US asset managers, US financial advisors to finally be able to touch XRP without worrying about regulatory blowback. And right after that, Ripple pulls another power move. They announced they're acquiring Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. Now, if you don't know Hidden Road, let me break it down. Hidden Road clears over $3 trillion per year for 300 plus of the world's top financial institutions. They're like the silent financial railroads, moving massive amounts of money behind the scenes, and now Ripple owns them. And they've explicitly said XRP and the XRP ledger are going to be part of the value movement for Hidden Road's clients. Let's talk RWAs, real world assets, because XRP ledger is getting real traction here too. With projects like Arcax, Open Eden, RLUSD, we're now seeing over $114 million in real world assets locked on the XRPL, and the stablecoin market cap on XRPL just crossed $114 million. And listen, I know that compared to Ethereum's number or Solana numbers, that might seem small, but it's growing fast. This is the foundation. Once RWAs hit critical mass, liquidity begets more liquidity. Institutions will only move big money when there's a trusted, compliant, and liquid network. And Ripple is quietly building that network on XRPL. Alright, if you want to long or short XRP, go to Wynand Crypto, and on this video you're going to find a link to sign up to BTCC to be able to trade Bitcoin and XRP and other cryptocurrencies. And guys, with BTCC, you can get a limited time $10,000 bonus on your first deposit. This is where I'm trading. This is where I can open all of my long positions, all of my trades. I think it's a fantastic place to be trading, so make sure to use the link down in the description below if you want to sign up and start trading XRP. Now for the fun part, price predictions, because I've seen it and now you've seen it too, all over YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, people talking about $50 XRP, $77 XRP, $100 XRP, like it's a done deal. And look, I'm bullish, don't get me wrong. I'm very bullish on XRP long term, but right now in 2025, we're still primarily in a speculative cycle. This is still a Bitcoin-led market. Utility is growing, yes, but utility is not yet driving the market. So my realistic target for this cycle, and now drum roll, my conservative target is $7 to $10 XRP, and stretching my target is $13 to $26 for XRP if you get a full-blown mania like 2017. Could it overshoot? Sure, anything can happen in crypto, but you need to be smart, you need to have a plan. From a chart perspective, XRP has flipped key 2017 and 2021 resistant levels into solid support on the monthly charts. We're consolidating, we're shopping sideways, but building strength. And historically, if you look at 2017, 2021, XRP has these long, boring periods, sometimes 200 days or more, where it just sleeps before it suddenly explodes up 10x or more in a matter of weeks. We're right in the boredom phase right now. I'm watching closely for a breakout in June or July. So here's my profit-taking plan. Really simple. Start taking profits at $5, take more at $7 to $10, and hold a moon bag. Just hold a moon bag, because if we blow past that, take heavy profits between $13 to $26 and always keep at least another very tiny micro moon bag, like 5% of your XRP holdings, for a long-term moonshot. Because listen, you never know when utility actually does take over and XRP leaves everything else in the dust. You want to cash out enough to feel good about your gains, but not so much that you regret selling your whole bag if XRP becomes the heart of the financial system in 2030. And the last thing I will say is this: don't get greedy. Don't get caught chasing moon numbers based on clickbait YouTube titles. Have a plan, stick to it, make life-changing gains, walk away smiling. You deserve it. And we've waited a long time for this moment. Don't let it slip through your fingers. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know what to do. Follow me on Twitter at Wynand Crypto, and click on the BTCC link in the description if you want to trade XRP. I love you all. Until the next time, Wynand Crypto out.